Okay, guys, it's time to talk about Peach Boy Riverside. Now we're on episode 4, and I gotta say, this episode was weird. I don't know what to say. It's it's absolutely nothing I could say about Peach Boy Riverside that screams, "Oh my God, this was an episode." The first 3 episodes, it kind of jump jumpstart the landscape of Peach Boy Riverside. I mean, the first episode got us speechless. The first episode got me speechless. For those who haven't read the manga, um, that's number one. Number two, episode 2 and 3 left us in cliffhangers. But now I'm looking at episode 4, and I say, what a weird episode. What a weird episode. I mean, that's again, what a transition that was. What a transition it is. We went from like a cliffhanger where it's like, okay, pick a side. Which one you want? Mikoto side, Peach Boy side, or Demon side? Like, Ogre side. Like, come on, it's so obvious. You gotta pick Peach Boy side. But then they're like, okay. And then after a week of waiting to see what's gonna be the outcome, we went straight into a flashback. We went straight into like a flashback of how Makoto and Sally became what it is. Now, I knew I'm not gonna lie to you guys. I find, like I said, there's not much to say about Peach Boy Riverside. All I can say is people are saying a lot of things about Peach Boy Riverside that makes a lot of sense. People have been spoiler, and I didn't mind spoilers. I didn't mind it. Some say it was reminiscent of chapter 1. Some people have said that this doesn't. Some people have said this and that. I don't want to go into details about it, but the way how this episode went, it makes no sense. So without further ado, let's get right to it in this review of Peach Boy Riverside episode 4. So it kicked things off with, it's like telling us a story about how everything came up to fruition, how everything came up, like a storyline between ogres and humans, kind of like how the 7 deadly sins is. You know, like opening up 7 deadly sins, where it's about once upon a time there were the knights and the sins. You know, it was kind of like that. So you got Makoto Makoto just going to another place, and he stumbled upon Princess Sally. Now this explained everything about Sally. How Sally became what she is. Got her hair, how she got those long, gorgeous pigtails, then cut them off. So that's how it happened in the end. But then they showed, like I said, this episode showed a little connection. It showed like how everything came up to it, like how it was like fate. Like, oh, Mikoto's a man, and Sally didn't recognize that. We even got a little scene with her with those octopuses and those tentacles things. So yeah, just like episode 1, we finally get the scene in this one with another tentacles. And there's some love connection out of this between Makoto and Sally. It makes a lot of sense. But anyway, Sally wants to go on an adventure. Sally wants to go on an adventure to search for Makoto. That explained, like I said, the first episode didn't really understand why Sally went to journey to find Makoto. It was a reason, but I mean, we didn't know what the reason was. This episode, we got a reason behind it. Let's think about this. So you got this demon you got this ogre who went to this kingdom and said, I offer you a trade. I won't slaughter the entire kingdom if you offer 30 humans every month. Just sacrifice 30 humans a month, and that's it. And one of the knights got his head chopped off because he thought it was ridiculous. He's like, head chopped off, and the ogre's like, that doesn't count. But when that ogre saw Makoto, he literally freaked the fuck out. Like, literally freaked out, and he left. He ran, and then that look on Makoto's sadistic face tells a story. He's gonna slaughter these fuckers. So when the ogre went back to the other one, the tall ogre and his groups, he's like, the deal's off, we gotta go. And here comes Makoto with his sword, all friendly like. Once he put on that bandana, on that Peach Boy that Peach symbol bandana, he started going in. He started killing these ogres. He actually saved the kingdom. No question. He saved the kingdom just like that. And that was, again, that was the highlight. The thing about this episode, like I said, is weird. It's weird how they went to this transition from this to this. It didn't make no sense. They could have done this. What I mean by episode 4 is, why the hell would you bring this episode up right now? You could have used this episode and put it into episode 1 as an example to what we're going to suspect in the long runs of Peach Boy Riverside. So basically, we just got our entire, it's just like, how do I put this? I understand the scheduling was fucked up. The timing was bad. And I get why people are frustrated with this show, because it's the timing and it was the timing and the scheduling that was off in Peach Boy Riverside. They made a mistake. They meant to put this episode onto the first episode. Like, you know what I mean? Like, they meant to put this episode and put it on episode 1. So basically, what I'm saying is, episode 4 was supposed to be episode 1. Episode 1 was supposed to be episode 2. Episode 3 was supposed to be episode 2. It's like that. 4 to 1. Yeah, episode 4 was supposed to be episode 1. And that's how we're supposed to start off with. So this is their way of saying, okay, we messed up. We should have put this as the first episode. And then give people a mindset about like what actually happened. Now we know the truth. But again, after Makoto slaying the demons, it was so, the way how he smiled, he's like, hey, I'm covered. And he was all covered in blood. So sadistic. It was like looking at Higurashi all over again. That sinister look on his face, all smiling. He said, I took care of the demons. And he got that blood still on his face. I'm like, wow. So as he left, the princess, Sally, who was a princess at the time, saw all those demons and she puked. And that what causes her to like, I want to go on a journey. I really want to go on a journey. At first, the king didn't want to, but now the king was like, okay, you want to go on a journey? Fine. So, and then how it starts, and then, you know, with Sally coloring her hair, and she goes on a journey, and she sees Faru down there. But like I said, there's not even much I could say about this episode. Overall, guys, I find this episode quite weird. And like I said before, this is their fault. They could have put this episode right now, this flashback that we just got, this episode entirely should have fallen to episode 1. Like I said, 4 is episode 1. Episode 2 should have been the second. With this flashback should have been episode 1. And when Sally met Faru, that should have been episode 2 and not 1. That's what they should have done, but they made a mistake. So I get why people are so confused by this. I was a little confused by it too, but then you realize, okay, jumble up the pieces by piece. It makes a lot of sense. It makes sense. So, and I think what they're going to do, and I don't know what they're going to do next week, to be honest, guys. I don't know what they're going to transition from this to this, because it says next week, it says Faru and the Vampire. That's next week's episode. And I don't know if it's going to draw back into the choices that Sally's going to make between Makoto and the ogre. I don't know what that's going to lead to, but with Faru, I don't know if we're going to see Faru's backstory. Maybe she has some vampiric abilities or anything like that. We'll wait and see. But like I said, this was a weird episode. It's not much to say, except this was one of those times where just like, this makes no sense. But it had a reason behind it. So that's a good thing. That's the start. So I look forward for next week's episode of Peach Boy Riverside. Oh, by the way, I won't be able to do girlfriend. That will probably be scheduled on Monday. So bear with me on this one. If I ever have time before I'll do it. But again, I won't be able to do girlfriend this weekend review. So about Monday, you'll see it. Monday or Tuesday at best. So thank you for watching my review of Peach Boy Riverside. I look forward for next week's episode. Let's see where the direction goes to, and let's see how it is.